What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video of me, Tom Dollimore. For those of you who are new around here, I am the #1 ranked manager on the Premier Fantasy Tools manager rankings, and this video series is where you can follow me and all my thoughts throughout the rest of the season. Let's jump in and have a look at how I did in Gameweek 27. So we're on a bit of a run of a nice few green arrows, and we're up to 21.5k overall rank. So yeah, we had a tough kind of Christmas period, and now we've been on a bit of a run of green arrows, and yeah, another one this week up to 21.5k, 54 points. So not a massive green arrow, but it's been a slow, steady climb, which is absolutely fine by me. So just going through the team, we got Raya with 3 points, Gabriel with 2 points. I thought almost stroke of genius with benching Timber, but yeah, he did get the assist. So before going off early, so I benched him on the basis that I thought his minutes were a bit of a risk. Got it right, but yeah, he did get that assist before. So but only 3 points, so I kind of only missed out on 1 point, so not a big deal. But yeah, it's been 3 games now with no clean sheet, and I got triple Arsenal defence, so it's a bit concerning, but. Yeah, it's not great. So Virgil van Dijk, the absolute hero of the game week yet again. Yeah, I'm so glad I held him for all this time. I so many weeks have been being very disappointing, but this is the exact kind of reason why I'm always so patient with everyone, because so much luck involved in this game, and eventually, if you know the reason you've bought a player and you continue to have the same reason for holding the player. Ignoring what's happening in reality, if the underlying numbers and the data still supports it, then this is what happens when you do hold on and keep faith. So yeah, Van Dijk with 11 points. Munoz give me some points, some decent points after the disappointing first game I had him for, so 9 points there. Those two are really the heroes of the game week, pretty much responsible for the green arrow. So midfield, not a lot going on here. So we've got blanks from Ndiaye, Szoboszlai, Enzo, and Bruno Fernandes. But Mboma got 6 points. So yeah, and it's not. I don't think his ownership is massive. So I think it'll start climbing up. But yeah, it's nice to get to have a few weeks getting points out of him before more people jump on. Yeah, so decent game week, 54 points. Things are looking good. So moving into Game Week 28, how I'm lining up. So I've got 4 free transfers, 0.7 mil in the bank. In terms of like the actual players themselves, I'm like super happy with my team. If I took fixtures out of the equation, the players I've got, brilliant, and I've got 4 free transfers on top of that. So we're kind of in the territory of like really optimizing for fixtures now. But how I'm lining up without any transfers, so we got the obviously got the triple Arsenal defence again, and it doesn't feel great with them playing against Chelsea home. So not so bad, but I think a lot of this is probably coming from that sort of a bit of recency bias on the fact that they've come off the back of 3 games with no clean sheets, and you know, from the games they were, you'd probably expect at least 2 clean sheets from how their defence have been performing. So it feels like it's a bad time now to have 3 Arsenal defenders because of recent results, and it's a tough game. So yeah, it doesn't feel great, and then it's kind of exacerbated by the fact that Timber came off before 60 minutes in the last game, and again, that's another bit of recency bias where I think that feels worse than it actually is. I could be wrong. It could be the start of a slight change, and he starts getting his minutes start dropping where he starts getting these rests, and maybe the realisation that they've got other options that can give them a different dynamic. But at the moment, we don't know that. It might have just been one game where it was they recognised that he needed a break and they took him off early. Van Dijk, West Ham at home, his fixtures are great, so yeah, I hope he continues to be the absolute hero in my team. Moving into midfield, Ndiaye, Newcastle away, not a great fixture. It's one of those where you kind of maybe you can nick a cheeky penalty, but I think in the following game week he has got Burnley at home, so I'm not going to get rid of him. But yeah, it's just one of those where it's not the best fixture this week, but it's good enough to start him. Szoboszlai, West Ham at home. I'm not sure. I've kind of got to a point where I'm comfortable with him playing at right back. I think he still has enough points potential even in that position, but I'm hoping that we start seeing him in midfield. Enzo Fernandez, been pretty disappointing since I owned him. I was hoping last week was the last good fixture in the good fixture run, and I was hoping this might be the one where he gets some of the points. It didn't happen, so yeah, he's been pretty disappointing this period of owning him. And yeah, obviously Arsenal away, and I think this is a good opportunity to sell him. The fixtures turn, and I just think this is the time. So yeah, he's probably my most likely transfer target to get rid of. At the moment, I've got Bruno Fernandes captain. It is close between him and Haaland, but I just think I think that they are very close now as assets in general, and I just think it's just the home fixture swing, the fact that it's at home that kind of sways this one. I think if these were both home fixtures, I think Haaland might tip it, or if they were both away fixtures. But yeah, I think just given that it's that home fixture, I feel like this is the right way. But it's close enough where I'll give it some time, see how the data kind of develops, and how the odds develop towards the deadline, and see if it moves it. But at the moment, it's clear enough for me that I'll probably keep it on Bruno. And Boma, obviously, Crystal Palace home, great fixture, same as Bruno Fernandes. Moving to the forwards, we've got Thiago, and these fixtures start turning good now, so I'm hoping that translates into lots of points for him. But then, yeah, I do think that there's enough people out there that are cottoning on to the fact that his fixtures are turning, so I think people are buying him now. But hopefully he doesn't. The poor run of form has kind of holds the ownership down a bit for me before everyone starts jumping on. So hopefully I can get a good haul in this Burnley game, and I think that'd be massive. That's a kind of a massive opportunity there. And then yeah, obviously Haaland leads away, vice captain. And then I've got Munoz on the bench at the moment. It's a possibility I sell him. He's got United and then Spurs away, which are not great, and then he's got Leeds at home, which is quite a nice fixture. But that's kind of the only reason I'd be holding him now would be for that Leeds home fixture, and it's not that crucial that I have him for that. So yeah, then obviously Rode on second bench. He'll probably score more points. He seems to chip away with a few points when he's on the bench and do absolutely nothing when I play him. So yeah, in terms of plans, I think most people are a lot of people are in the same boat, where it's kind of the obvious move is Enzo Fernandez to one of the mids that are affordable. I think leading up to this game week, I had always had penciled in Wirtz here, but with that kind of injury doubt on the two fixtures now, the following two fixtures being really close together, I'm kind of actually I don't think I'd consider it, even if we know that Wirtz is going to start this week. Even if he starts, I don't think the minutes over the next two that I don't think he's the best option. I've essentially narrowed it down to between Wilson at Fulham and Dango at Brentford, and it's a close call. And I think the only way it's so close, like it is one of those 50-50 calls. In reality, the only I'm kind of leaning towards Wilson. And the reason for that is I'm not 100% convinced on one, Brentford's overall ability to perform well consistently, and two, Dango's minutes. I'm fairly sure they should be okay. I haven't seen that consistency yet with Thiago, Sharda and Dango starting together, that I haven't got that complete comfort that he might not be benched for one of the games in this kind of run up to Gameweek 32. So yeah, I'm still kind of planning mostly around the wild card in 32, so dead ended into 31. So I'm planning to fill those blanks coming up in 31. So of the players that are good for that lead up, it's between Dango and Wilson, and at the moment I'm leaning towards Wilson for the reasons I just mentioned. I just think that the minutes he's fairly nailed, and it's close enough that I don't think it's worth the risk on Dango, that there's not enough upside for me. It's worth taking over Wilson, and other smaller reasons. I haven't owned Wilson yet. A lot of people have. So I haven't really been burned by him, blanking a lot and stuff like that. So it doesn't feel, it feels like one of those where I missed out on points earlier, and it'd be nice to sort of have him in the team and give it a go. Another reason, like tiny factors, is like I've got Thiago obviously, and like I said, I don't feel that consistency with Brentford, double Brentford attack when I'm not really comfortable about I haven't got that comfort on the consistency. So yeah, it's not really, but it feels like a bit more of an unnecessary risk with Dango, and that's all I can put it down to really. So I think there is a slight upside where, in a world where we don't wildcard in 32, Wilson does have a much worse fixture than Dango in 32. So that is kind of the upside for Dango. He has that continuity kind of fixture in 32 if we wanted it, but to be honest, I've got enough transfers that if it comes to that, then I've been through the process and looked at the options, and there's options to work around it to cover that fixture for Wilson that work the same, just as well as just having Dango. So it's not that big of a factor for me either. So in terms of like other players that I would be looking at, and I am going to mainly focus on that from between now and 31. Most people will want to be building up towards that blank, and just looking at the defenders, other than players that are already in my team, I think I've mentioned Anderson as potential target for me this week or next week. So I think he's probably the best defender for that stretch of the next 4 fixtures that I don't own. Senesi or Hill, depending on your budget, from Bournemouth. I think midfielders, other than the ones I've already mentioned, Wilson, Dango, Wirtz is still a good option. I just don't know with these next 2 fixtures, but he's still a decent option, just a bit more expensive. Probably wouldn't go for Sharda because I think I think he's similar to Dango in terms of value. It's just his minutes are a bit riskier. Other than that, I maybe some of the Bournemouth attackers, Ryan, Tavernier is a bit early. Got my eyes on him for 29, maybe 30, but I think it's a bit early. We just need to see that the consistent minutes come back before I'm ready for that. But yeah, other than what I've mentioned, not too many I could recommend outside of that. Forwards, again, like other than Haaland and Thiago, it is really difficult to recommend anyone now. As a position this season, it's just so bad. Ekitike is fine, but he's just so expensive. I think if you've got him, you probably hold him, but I wouldn't be targeting him. Other than that, yeah, it's really hard to recommend anyone. Calvert-Lewin's all right in 29, but I wouldn't really target it. I think Solanke is probably, if he gets the minutes between now and 31, I think he's probably a good option for the Haaland switch for that 1 week if we're going to dead into 31. But other than that, yeah, hard to recommend any forwards, to be honest. So yeah, that's kind of the plans, where we're at, what we're thinking. So I think that's everything from me for this game week. I hope you all have a great game week, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.